Hello, good evening, and welcome to another beautiful Saturday. And what a week it has been. For me, it has really been a very busy week. Welcome to the Young Women and Wives with Burdens and Blessings Initiative Discussion Platform. My name is Rosemary. Thank you so much. I coordinate the affairs of the initiative. And it's a wonderful Saturday, another beautiful Saturday, where we get to discuss extensively on topics that concerns the woman and her wholeness. And we have found out that over time, we have men supporting us, and what a beautiful day it is to have a man take us on the topic we have for tonight. So someone said to me during the week, someone said, "Oh, Rosemary, yes, it's a topic for you said your initiative is for women. How come you now have a man taking this topic?" And I said to that, I said, when it comes to finances, it's for a woman. It concerns her life, and we try to look at finances from different perspective, especially the perspective of human, not just the gender, because money is spent by gender has nothing to do with money or your financial life. And this evening we have with us tonight the person of Mr. Francis Ajilore, the CEO of Poshfield Global Limited. I don't think you want to miss tonight. So, as our custom is, wherever you are joining us from, please, as soon as you join us, let's know where you're joining us from. We'd love to appreciate everyone. And what a beautiful thing to have this night. If you observe, our usual is to have, me play music as we come on. But tonight, we didn't play music. And one of the reasons is that we are here tonight celebrating 1 year on this platform. 12 months, 365 days tomorrow on this platform. And I would say that this platform has been of immense help, even to me as the host and the founder of the initiative, because we saw the need for the woman to be made whole. And wholeness does not necessarily mean that you are going towards a destination, but actually you are on a journey, because life in itself is a journey. We are on the journey of wholeness. The woman and her own wholeness is very key to us. And on the initiative, we are so particular about the wholeness of the woman. Thank you so much. I can see the person of Olabisi Rachel, the patroness of the initiative, joining us live from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much. I am not the host for the month. Our secretary, Molara Oshoni, is. We'll await her. But while we wait for her, I want us to look at the topic of tonight, and that is making the best choices with whatever it is that you have. Most times we want to have everything. We want to have everything before we can venture into the journey of purpose. We while away time, we waste away time with one complaint or the other. We lay emphasis more on what is supposedly a shortcoming in our lives. But we fail to realize that what we think is a shortcoming is actually a strength, is a pedestal to our journey of purpose. We once had a speaker on this platform. She said something. She said she would have decided to go and do this in a studio, but she thought of what happens when I make use of what it is that I have within my reach. And I tell people, I say, see, the journey of purpose is not one that needs you to have everything. All you just need, in fact, the most important thing aside concept or idea is action. And one of the things that happen is that a lot of people can be a bit scared or unwilling to take action, because that first action, that first step that you need to take in your journey of purpose is one that sometimes can be so difficult. And difficult because we have become too accustomed to our comfort zone. Mr. Francis Ajilore is one who will not just be speaking because he's one who, who is well learned and educated in the educated, but rather he will be speaking from the place of experience, personal experience for that matter. Personal experience for that matter. I'm telling you, and one of the things that is our strength on this platform is that we tend to speak, or rather, from the place of personal experience. We speak from a place of our own experience, and every speaker on this platform speak from a place of experience. Okay, we're waiting for the host of today in the person of Omalara. I can't seem to. Okay, we'll wait for her. So, so Mr. Francis will be speaking from the place of experience. And I'm also waiting for our host to, the speaker of tonight to join us. Mr. Francis, as soon as I, spot him, I will bring him on. I'll bring him on. Mommy, please, if you can hear me, kindly help me put a call across to Lara. I don't know why she's not here tonight now. Please let me put a call across to Lara. Thank you, ma. So making the best choice, best decisions out of what you have at hand. What does it mean? What are we trying to say? Someone once told me how sometimes some topics are overflowed. But no, those topics that need to be touched again and again and again, that needs to be touched again and again, are very important. It's 8 p.m. Let me pick it from here. Please, 1 second. So those topics, those things that need to be taught again and again are very important. They are very, very important. They are very, very important because the place of, like we said last week, that the month of June is our finance month. On the initiative, we are particular about the wholeness of the woman when it comes to her finance. We are particular. So last week we had our very own amazing. It was a very deep expository discussion last week from Miss Oluwatoyin Y.W.W.B, where she talked about personal finance and budget creating. And believe you me, if you were not here last week when we had this discussion, please, you can always go back to the platform on our Facebook page of our Young Women and Wives with Burden and Blessing to listen all over again. I tell people that one thing I also do is that I go back to listen, to get thoughts again on every of our discussion. Go back to what to get a thought. So making the best of what you have. Waiting for our speaker. Sorry, sir. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can hear me, please you need to come live or send me an invite live. Send me an invite live so that I can bring you in. I see that you are trying to call me. Well, fortunately, I'm actually using that phone for this live purpose. So please send me an invite on this live and I will bring you in. So now, when we talk about making the best of best choice or decision with what you have, what are we talking about? It is not an overflow topic. A lot of women always appear helpless, always appear clueless, always appear, not even just only appearing, have continuously repeated a life of fear, a life of, will I say, being caught unaware every time. And they tell you, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't have what to do. I don't know how to start. And there was something I said during I said there is no one without a seed. We all have that seed that we need to plant. So making the best use of what you have. I tell people that all my life, I have always had that opportunity. I think I got to understand this very early on in my life, that all I need to do is to look within what I have. Is to look within what I have. Even so much so that even when I got married, I started having children, and I was going through a phase of my, my early to mid 20s and 30s, and I would get invited or anything that I just want to do, and no women, we and clothing and fashion and everything. I tell you, I do one thing that is very, that can actually be seen as, being not being fashionable, or not spending enough, or being feminine enough, and that is I will go back to the item of clothing that I have. I will go back to the item of clothing that I have, and I will go to Google. And I'll go to Google and I'll say, okay, I have this color, how do I mix them up to achieve something that is presentable? I once told someone that I'm not really a fashionista, but when the need comes for me to, to be somewhere, and I know that I cannot spend money buying new clothes, for that reason, I have a way of always, going with what I have, and, merging or mixing clothing to get what needs to get me going with what I need to do. So now, making the best of what you have. When we talk about making best choice, what is choices? Choices are decisions, selections when it comes to things or actions that you need to take. I don't know. Is Mr. Francis, sir? You are 12 minutes late, though. Sir, please send me invite. I can see you, but I'm unable to bring you on. You need to send me invites, live invites now. You need to send me invites. That's when I can bring you on. I'm not seeing you on camera. I don't know why. I'm not seeing you on camera, sir. I can see that you are watching, but I'm not seeing you on camera. Please, send me an invite, please. So, making use of the best. So, what are the choices that we make? The choices that we make. I remember when I had. Okay, a lot of people, let me just say, a lot of people practically know my story and how far I have come. And there are people there are individuals that would tell me, no, sir, this life, you have to send me an invite on live. This life, I can't, the DM cannot work, not DM, sir. When this live, just send me an invite on this live. On this live, you need to send me an invite on this live, sir. I don't know. I'm not able to do it. Okay. So, and I found out that most of the things that have happened to me has been due to most of the successes, let me put it that way, that I have come to achieve has been due to decisions that I have made, choices that I made, selections that I have made in my life. And so someone would say that, and when it comes to decision, your decisions really, or your choices and decision matters a lot in how far you go. Because as you go on through life, you will continue to have to, shuffle and reshuffle your choices and decisions. And whether we like it or not, nothing is static. Nothing is static. The choice or decision you make for provide that is available for you for an action or a move today may not be relevant or useful for you tomorrow. Will not be. So how do you now make use of? Sir, please send me an invite. No. You have to send me a live invite, sir, to be able to join my live. I don't know why I'm not. Okay, so this is very, very important. So how do you make use? I don't know. How do you make use of what you have? what you have. And there's something I also want to say, that sometimes making this, it is easier said than done to say, okay, making decisions or life critical choices with what you have, because some people don't even know what they have. Some people don't know what they have. Some people don't know what they have. And one of the things I always say, that one of the ways that you can actually know what you have is by understanding who you are. Because most times when we are talking about what you have, a lot of people are looking at the physical things. A lot of people are looking at physical things. A lot of people are looking at cash. A lot of people are looking at, money as to what they have to take a step of purpose. Just give me. I'm not getting the option to send an invite. Sir, if you come to the live, okay, wait, let me. Please, a minute. Sir, when if you come to the live, you will see where. Maybe because it's my friend now. Oh gosh. Okay, just give me a minute. I don't think it's my face. Oh my goodness. Okay. Please, just a minute. Okay, so apologies, everyone. I just had to get through across to the speaker. We were having a little technical something. Sorry. Okay. And I found out that like I was saying, a lot of people are are look out more for finance, that mean money when it comes to what they have at hand. So when they are being asked or told to maximize what they have, they will tell you, oh, I don't have money. I don't have money. And then you ask yourself, is money all that you have? In fact, there is little to what money can start for you than what you are actually able to do with the knowledge that you have, with the ability that you have, and like they will say, with the talent that is within you, that you have. That is within you, that you have. Now, and so if you don't understand who you are, if you don't understand what you have been given, if you don't understand yourself and the abilities that you have, you might actually be confused, and you while away time. You don't, let me say waste time. You will waste a lot of your time, years of your life, not knowing what to do. You waste a lot of your time. Some time back, on this platform we talked about improvisation. And one of that improvisation is one major tool that has helped me in dealing with everything that I do today. I'm sorry, our speaker will join us soon, please. So has helped me with dealing with everything I've had today. Now, one of the things that I will say is this. I shared this during the week. I came to Canada, and as a quant surveyor, or for someone who has 15 years experience in the construction industry, I found myself in a province where quantity surveying does not exist. Where, okay, now someone would say to me, oh, it is the replacement is estimating. Now I have now come to understand that estimating does not mean it's the same thing as quantity surveying, because in the estimating industry here, anyone can be an estimator. In as much as a carpenter can be an estimator, an electrician can be an estimator. You find a lot of people in the estimating industry. However, this is not the job of a QS. The job of a QS is more in-depth, more technical, more advantageous than just surface estimating. So, for some time, I thought maybe that, I was going to be a bit confused or whatever. But because I have, over the years, been able to maximize, that making use of whatever it is that I have. So I sat myself down and I said to myself, so what I am here, I am in this particular place now. How long am I here for? In this province that I am in now. How long am I here for? And what is it that I can do? So I looked within and I saw that one of the things that I've been able to nurture over the years is teaching. I am very good with teaching. So I said to myself, teaching now, this teaching that I have nurtured over the years is one of the, what we call occupation in demand in this province. So I went back and I said, how do I start? So because I did not want to be not just only idle. I did not want to just stay and not earn. And I also don't want to just stay and not grow intellectually. So I went ahead and I did a diploma program in special needs. So when I did that diploma program in special needs, I decided, I then applied, I was still applying for my estimating job. And I also was applying for the teaching job. I got the estimating job up because of, immigration stuff. I only did that work for 1 month. I did it for 1 month because what happened was that the person I was working for was, because there's nothing like quant surveying. You can imagine being asked, you mean you went to school to study? What did you call it again? What do you call it again? And, that profession, my profession now was made to look somehow. However, if I was in another province, like maybe Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, it would be a major thing. But then I looked within myself, like I said, and I said, I'm able to teach now. I'm very good with teaching. And I have the duration for up to 2 to 3 years, to 4 years to be in this place. I cannot move away from this province. And I definitely will not waste time without doing anything. So I looked within what I have and I took a gifting that I have and I decided to grow it. So this is one of the things that happens to us. Because ideally, someone would be lost. I have friends who have relocated abroad, relocated to places like, Canada or UK, and they become lost because they have been told before coming, your profession is very this, your profession is this, you can be a project manager. But to be a project manager, you have to have certification. You have to, even though you have experience project managing, you have to have certification. And then you cannot just jump. You have to start from somewhere. So one of the things that happens is that if you find yourself in any situation, believe you me, there is no one without a seed to maximize and grow their life of purpose. There is no one that is without a seed. So look within and take whatever it is. Now, one thing I found out that is actually a major problem for most people is that comparison. Every comparison is one of the problems. Then everyone wants to wants to give it the impression that they are settled, that they are comfortable, that they have it all. They want, they believe that because once you have settled in your mind that it is because you have money, if it's because you have money, or money is the only thing that people can see, that people are able to pin you to when it comes to importance. Yes, it might be a good thing, but when it comes to where intelligence needs to speak, when it comes to where value needs to speak, and believe in me, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that money is not good, but when it comes to where value needs to speak, you would always have. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh. Sir, please kindly resend again. It was telling me technical issues. Please resend again. Please. Thank you. So you will always have. So like I said, I had to move to teaching. But while I'm still teaching, I'm not leaving the profession. So I said to myself, now, as a construction person, what is the next thing that I should be doing as I'm teaching and since I'm not able to leave this province now, I am now teaching. So what is it that I can also do? Since I have a passion for construction. Then I sat down and started looking at how to maximize, it now becomes a waiting period. So it now becomes a waiting period before they are appearing. I have appeared and reappeared so many times in Nigeria. But before they are appearing, now this time is not a waiting period. Now that waiting period, before you now maximize your construction or professional experience, is now a time of building and realigning yourself with the environment you are. Yes, construction is there. But what is it that you need to do? Do you need to, you now need to replan or re-strategize? Do you need to, what is even in construction, which areas, which field are relevant in the environment I am currently in? Sir, please, can you resend the invites? Oh my God, this is not funny. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes, I know that, most of the times, why I do not shy away from topics that seem to be popular, or that I say, I've heard about it before, is that, see, there will always be something new for you to learn. There will always be something new for you to glean from what is being shared. So when maximizing or making smart choices with what you have. For me, my experience that I shared, I have been able to make use of that. I'm not a trained teacher back home in Nigeria, even though I've had teaching experience, but I'm not a trained teacher. Jesus Christ. This person was unable to join because of technical issues. He keeps saying this person was not able to join because of technical issues. I don't know what is happening, but we do have this challenge with Facebook. He's still saying this person was not able to join because of technical issues. Let me, I don't know. Oh God. Oh no, this is not nice. Okay. This is not nice. Sir, please. Okay, thank you. Oh God, couldn't add guests. This person was able to join because of technical issues. Facebook, be kind today. Oh. Facebook, be kind today. Sir, please, can you send again? Saying this person was not able to join because of technical issues. Could it be because of network or network? We've had guests who use, I don't want to call names. say that they are not able to join because of technical issues. So, okay, should I add your? So I'm using Madam's Ono. I believe it's from your end too. Okay. So in essence, okay. Hello, sir.
This is serious.
Yeah. Says we've had apologies, sir. Please. We've had issues like that with Facebook. Facebook can be very funny, very funny. Sir, please, without wasting much of time, I have been, let me yab myself, I've been blabbing away, but please, sir, take the floor, please.
No problem. I hope I'm audible enough because my earbud is connected to my own device, but this is an alternative device.
You are,
Am
sir.
I audible? Am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Please. Yes, sir. Please proceed. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so very much for the opportunity. I also strongly want to believe that there's something special, something more that people are designed to get today, and maybe that's one of the reasons why these issues are popping up. So I'll run through it as quickly as possible. 32 minutes gone already,
Yeah.
and so making smart choices with whatever you have. We often tell people that you you it is not what you don't have that hinders you. It is what
Mm,
you have and have refused to use that actually
mm,
hinders us. So it has to do with a mindset shift. We need to begin to see things differently. We need to look at, have you optimized resources at your disposal to the fullest before you're talking about things that are not within your reach? So this subject matter is something that is very, very important. Maybe before I dive into the core subject in itself, I often tell people that, look, even if I have all the resources, I have a way of having that resources at my disposal, and you just get to see that you become more creative, more innovative
mm,
to achieve as much as what you were trying to use the entirety of the resources at your disposal before to achieve, even with half, even with less than half, you become more creative. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that this subject matter is very, very important. Choices are product of our thoughts.
mhm,
Choices are, so if you feel defeated, if you feel insufficiency in your mind already, it's not this seminar that will
mm,
override it. It
mm,
has its role, but you have to you know uh, be the one to take those decisions. But thoughts in itself does not just jump. It's a function of a number of things. One of it is the environment that you have been in. What have you been fed with over the past few months, over the past few years? Like while growing up, I used to hear my mom say that I will try to interpret it in the best way I can. That a smoked, okay, I'm already doing the interpretation. A smoked fish is not easy to if you try to straighten a smoked fish, it most
mm,
likely will break. So the environment we've been over the past few years has formed some thought patterns, some ideologies. So you didn't just, in as much as we are saying that choices are made are a function of the thoughts that you have, but it doesn't just come that way. It's a function of the environment you've been. What are people within that environment? How have they been talking? How have they been reasoning? So it's also a point out, because one, it's not great meetings that make people, it's decisions that are made, in the course of those meetings that, that influences who people become. So there are people who are alive, who will be watching later on, who need to take informed decisions to say, look, at the environment I've been living, if I don't have control of the past, I have control going forward. What can
mm,
I do differently? So beyond environment, the relationships that you have, people the relational capital at your disposal over the years, have they contributed to to the way you think. Don't forget, what we are saying is the thoughts. So, but the relationships you keep, do they talk about insufficiency? Do they talk about if only? Do they attribute the blames to other people and not take responsibility? If those are kind of people, then there is an issue. We're laying foundation for making the right choices, so that we don't just say, these are to make choices, and people end up repeating, going through that cycle, and still not being able to take informed decisions. So societal, the factor, educational factor. Education is not necessarily about the school you went to and all of that. How well have you educated? How much have you learned, unlearned, and relearned? That is the proper education in itself. These are all seed capitals that influences our thoughts, consciously or unconsciously. It doesn't need permission to be taken for all of that to happen. So all of these end up forming an irresistible willpower. So it becomes, because you've been in that zone for so long, you end up having a willpower that if you're not careful, you will always say, and I wish I did, but not doing. I don't know if I'm making sense. So as we know, choices could be positive and choices could be negative. So whether and that's why people will say you either say cup half full or half empty. That's even a positive. Okay, if you see it half full, it means you are positive about it. The lenses you are using to see, is kind of positive, and that's why I tell people it's not all eyes that sees, but all eyes possibly can look. So see, your ability to see if it is half full or half empty, it's a function of the thought, which helps you to take informed decisions. So it could be positive or it could be negative, like I said. An individual has capacity to exhibit both. We have capacity to exhibit both traits to the fullest. However, earlier on I talked about the willpower that has been over time, has been built through the relationships, the societal factors, the education, and all the rest that I talked about. So in as much as you have capacity to operate at both frequency, whether the negative or the positive, it is now up to you. The willpower that has been formed is what now triggers the direction you flow. It's no longer within your control. So the point you have control is your thoughts, and minding what influences and what informs your thoughts. I'll quickly chip in. It's not time to give examples, but I'll quickly give an example. So there's someone who is a member of a cooperative that I started some years back, and she reached out this evening. In the course of the week, told me about search for. She's based in Port Harcourt, about the need to expand the business, to do this and to do that. Went about the search, the areas I could support. I did support, but this night she brought the good news. I've gotten a space for this. She's been doing a business online, but was frustrated from Instagram and felt like, so those are disadvantages. But she's now saying, look, how can I turn it to my advantage? Decided to do physical outlets where people could eat in and also place orders, While at that, she has finally gotten the place. And while sharing the excitement, she suddenly said, but I am still scared. And I said, courage is not the absence of fear. It is proceeding in spite, regardless of your fears. And I also said, if your dream does not scare you, it's either it's not a dream. It's either it's not a dream or it is not from God. If you feel you have it all worked out, then there's still a missing link in there. So, but which is why, in the earlier on, I talked about the relational capital, that the people you have around you. When I'm saying those things inform your thoughts. So if she met somebody who panics like her and she's sharing those thoughts, invariably and for this kind of country, or my person will go lose this money. Or that is the thought process. That's the vibes that is going to be released. So, but at that point, the willpower, she's no longer in control. But now, I said, no, I'll be in Port Harcourt next week. We will do this together. We will do this together. And I will watch. I will be involved to see that business thrive. So I just had to digress a bit into that, even though that's not what is taking me down to Port Harcourt. But still someone who feels that, look, I could talk to someone, I have access to this person, and let me leverage on that relational capital. So, what finally determines where the pendulum swings to, whether it is positive or the negative reaction or the negative choices, is your willpower. So instead of saying, I will do only positive thing, and you don't end up doing it, don't tackle that. Look at what has helped you, build a willpower that helps you to do opposite of what you want to really do. And that's very, very critical if you must have result from this session. Permit me, I sweat a lot. Sorry, forgive me. And I'm always very passionate when it also comes to things that I can see in itself. So, on the other hand, what is, the topic in itself says smart choices. So what is smart in itself? We've laid some part of the foundation before we proceed to all the things that we'll just roll out and make it very fast. So what is smart in itself? Smart, on the other hand, suggests a quick and witty intelligence. In the context of this subject today, so let us not just look at the dictionary, Google meaning and all of that, but in the context of what we are talking about today, it could be seen as making informed decisions. Making informed decisions that will enhance our output. Making informed decisions that will enhance our output. Because one, it's we always say something in our organization that there cannot be productivity without activity. However, activity does not necessarily translate to productivity. So the report card, the result in itself, is what makes it look as if it was smart. So 10 people write an exam, but somebody has an idea of, out of possible 10 questions, where 7 to 8 questions come, and doesn't read as much as the other people, but comes up with the right answers. Because one, you have predicted likely places where 8 of those questions will come from, and he focuses on those ones. The other one just read the entire book and spent more hours. But this other person worked with their intuition. What have you? You end up saying that person is smart. The person is perceived as being smarter, as it were. So we're saying smart choices with what we are. So now we're looking at what is smart in itself. So, and we already established that taking informed decision that gives us desirable, suitable output, as the case may be. So, the first smart choice to be made is to be in charge of your willpower. I said that earlier on. So, putting all the apparatus that will help your willpower for you to be in control of your willpower. Where when you say, oh, I will read at this time, I will dedicate this time. The moment you are in charge of your willpower, then that is the first smart decision, smart choice that you are making already. So if you have to manage your willpower, if you have to be in control of your willpower, so it means that you need to first of all do proper analysis. You need to do proper analysis of the risk and reward of whatever it is you want to do. Proper analysis of the risk to reward. Say, okay, what is the danger of doing this thing or the danger of not doing it? What is the reward? You will realize that when circumstances want you to snooze, you will stay awake. You would. So I've had a very busy week, but this event has been on my mind. there are other things that more than 3 other things that are contending for the same time tonight. But and even at some point, I was so tired. I told my family, please, you people, when it is 7:30, you people wake me up. My wife said, when she came to try to get my attention, she said she knew I was going to be awake because I've seen the risk, I've seen the reward. We've been taught to be a blessing, not just to be blessed. Or we've been taught that we are blessed to be a blessing. So if for any reason there's an opportunity to empower the people to share information, what have you, it means a lot to me as a person. And so I had to go all out. So the reward is, and the consequences, as a matter of fact, while I was online and I was saying I couldn't get, I was looking at the risk component. Do I just say I've tried and I walk away? What have you? But the reward part of it made me to stay glued, made me to be in the space. I had to say, to avoid distraction from the children, I had to come on time. So I don't beat about the should always do analysis of the risk to reward. Then next is, what is chasing you and what are you chasing? Wow. There's a saying that if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. For me, I want to go far and I want to go fast. It means I have to marry both. I have tasted the ugly side of poverty. I've tasted the ugly side of being ridiculed. I've been faced with situations where I can't come online to describe how the kind of experience I've had where people don't treat people well, you know, all because you are perceived in a particular way not to have. So I know that the place of being broke, something is chasing me away from that point. On the other end, there are dreams that God has shown me about myself. There are things that I know that I'm not anywhere close to it.
Sweet.
So it's like, but God will not actually, the experience about this year alone, that God will not even release certain things
to you,
to me, without even taking certain steps. He unravels it part time when I make the moves, when I take those steps. So, but something has to be, must be saying, this ground, though, I don't ever want to go there. Dr. Olumide, I will say, if you plan to fall, don't bother to rise. So that back side of life, I don't ever want to be there again. I don't want to ever get close to it. So that is, after doing my analysis of risk to reward, is something motivating me enough. Both the pain, not wanting to go back to the pain, and the pleasure I had. When I travel economy and I have to wait for so long on the queue, was an experience. Bless you, man. Was an experience. When I started flying business class, I knew the difference. Coincidentally, I went for a course sometime last year, and I delayed an aircraft for over 1 hour. I was in, but a few of my colleagues who classmates who were both traveling down from another city, from Cape Town to Joburg, where we're going to take a flight down to, their flight was delayed in South Africa, and I had gotten to Joburg much earlier, and I was seated on my seat, but I realized that they were not on board, and we're meant to board the same flight to Nigeria together. And I told you, Elsa, I said, please, I have people, and I think they are close by. They must have learned. And you'll be shocked. Over 1 hour, they waited.
Wow.
They waited. So I told myself, so what if I was in economy and I'm now coming from back, and I was sitting in the first seat, whatever. So it tells me something that, look, there are things that, you know, it's just communicate that, look, there's nothing wrong about living a good life. There's nothing wrong about having the best of life.
Yes.
There are things you will have control over, and those could be a motivation.
Yeah.
Not wanting my luggages, you get what they call there's a tag on it where your bags are brought priority. Put your bag. Well, it is good. Good life is good. So and that is not first class yet. That is not private jet, yes, yet. So the cravings for those ones should motivate you, except that is not part of your dream. That's not part of your aspiration. So consequences of your action or inaction. So if you've counted the risk and reward, you've done all the analysis you should do, what is the consequences of your action or inaction? Will you not being firm in carrying out, in executing everything you intend to do, will it have impact on your children's school fees? Will it have impact on your children being asked to leave the school, being evicted from your home? All of these things are critical components that should, will help you to be in charge of your willpower. The moment you put all of this analysis in place, I need to, even when sleep is worrying you, say, no, I need to go all out. This is the consequences. This is the risk to reward. This is the future that is bright, won't just fall on my laps, So having said that, now let us begin to now narrow down to what we have. What we have versus what we don't have. I said it earlier on, we are not, it's not, what we don't possess is not what endows us. It is what we have and failed to use, failed to optimize. I started learning how to use the word optimization from our finance person when he would say that instead of saying you want to cut costs, you would rather say optimize. When you cut costs, it can come with consequences. But when you invest into one thing, but you look at multiple ways, that same thing can serve purpose. That is optimization. So what we have versus what we don't have. We are not disadvantaged because we don't have enough. Rather, we lose what we have. So what we even have will be taken away from us because we fail to optimize what we have at our disposal. Because of our time, I will need to move very fast. We lost a lot of time before the program itself started. So therefore, we must reflect in order to identify what we have. Because guess what? If you don't do the reflection, no one, not Mrs. Rose, not TFA, would help you to do that reflection. None of us would help you to realize what you have, because I am not with you. But you also, this event today may help you to say, wow, let me really reflect. So, but it's still your responsibility. No one will do that for you. You have to spend time to reflect, to say, look, what is it that I have? What is it that is to my disadvantage? How can I use plus what I have and make it appear as though I don't have a disadvantage at all? That is the software that needs software re-engineering that needs to go on in your mind, regardless of all the environment you spent bulk of your time, the friends and all of those things, the lens they used in seeing all along. You have to reflect, and and the amazing thing is that there are two people you can't lie to: God and yourself. So if you tell yourself that you have what you don't have, the report card would not be different from the one you've actually been having. And often than not, fine, I know this subject today is not just about money, but when it comes to finance, it's your bank statement is your report card. So if you lie to yourself, lie to people, your bank statement will tell you your true financial status. If it is health related, if you say I'm not best, I don't have high blood pressure, when you go for your next check, your report card will be printed before you. So nobody will do it for the best of seminar. The best of speakers will not do that reflection for you. It's your responsibility. So that thing you discovered about yourself and that you possess, now narrowing down to, I haven't done the scan. You've done the scanning, you've done the reflection, you've not discovered a couple of things about yourself that, look, I possess this, I possess that. How well is it needed? How well is it needed in the marketplace? How well are people craving for it? What is the demand versus supply? Because one, people need to begin to also realize to say, look, this thing, I'm passionate about it. So for instance, now I'll begin to chip in some of my stories. I'm working towards a football academy project because I was that football star that never came, that never materialized. So, but I also reflect and I ask myself, how many people that were we playing football back then who didn't make it through football and can say for a fact that their life, I'm not where God wants me to be yet, but who have meaningful lifestyle as I do currently have? Possibly none. So that's fueled the passion to create the football academy project, fleshed up with a number of things, such a way that in case they don't even make it through football, there are alternative things that will make it. But that was coming from a place of experience. But can you imagine me pursuing that to say, no, it's football academy project first, football academy project, because listen, I will still be as broke as any other person. Just the same way I had a failed football career as a result of injury, is the same way I will have been a failed football agent or whatever it is. But I knew how to put my best foot forward, thrive in business, then go back to the football academy project, which is a passion. So that thing that you discover about yourself, it is good. But doing the analysis to know if it is needed in the market is the beginning of one of the smartest decisions you will make.
Yes, sir.
It is not the fact that you read a book or you read for an exam that guarantees that you pass. It is that what you read came out in the exam. That's what makes you pass. So it is not the fact that you've discovered something about yourself that will make you successful or that will make you smart choices. It is the fact that you've also done beyond your reflection and discovery of what you possess, is the fact that is there a need for it in the market? If the demand is higher than supply, it means you will thrive faster and you will appear smarter. So, because that can be, so your ability to do that is what helps you to now convert it to cash. I'm a business inclined person, so I can reflect all my smart decision analysis I'm doing may need to translate into cash, may need to translate into money, revenue, income generation, and all of that. So forgive me if it looks as if I'm tilting towards money. So you need to.
No, money is good, sir. But sir, please, we need to go to our Q&A session.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
So please kindly help us, like in a few minutes. Thank you.
Okay. So if it is not directly convertible to cash, if you can't convert that thing that you have to cash in isolation, then try to collaborate. There's somebody else that, what you have may have a way of giving. So I do real estate, but somebody else can be good at having a podcast, have a series that they can do. So the person comes to do podcast and I collaborate with you, and yet the person earns income when people who listen to their podcast, buy our product, so people need to be creative about that. So how, where, and when do I get started? It's as good as you are behind schedule to get started. Any of those things, every of the things we are talking about needs to be actioned immediately. So every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Do you react or do you respond? So when things look as if it's set back, do you react or do you respond? Reaction is an expression of displeasure, while response is an expression to profile solution. So that is what makes Lastly, as I begin to wind down completely, test the water. Don't just jump and say, after the charge, I'll just test the water. Offer it for free. That thing, experiment with it somewhere. Whatever result people see about some people today, we had the opportunity of experimenting with somebody else's business to know that it works. So go the extra mile where you are currently. So if you're working somewhere, go the extra mile. Don't say, these are the that I'm keeping. I will launch it during when I start my own business. It will have become obsolete. They will have been clogged in the wheel of what helps you to generate it. So, but when you offer it from time to time, it becomes easier to regenerate such things. So I was trying to see if I could talk a bit of just one or two stories, but the book that I wrote 7 years ago, make most of it, it's a pen that I told them, give me the pen that is broken. Somebody else could say, oh, this pen is broken, so I can't do anything. But somebody else sees it and say, okay, I can sharpen both ends and even have something to give to somebody else to write while I also have something to write. I've also had series of experiences that because of the time, maybe in the course of question or maybe some of the time, I'll be chipping some of those personal experiences that has turned my life, has influenced the growth and transformation that I've experienced. So maybe I'll leave it at that. So thank you very much. It's time for questions.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't know, most times when we have very sensitive topic on this platform to discuss, that's when some technical thing will just come up. But we have something we do on this platform that every host, fortunately, I'm not the host for tonight, but I don't know why she's not here. Is meant to be prepared for the topic. But I'm really grateful that you were able to make tonight. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the little that you have shared. For every word that you have spoken this night, I maybe because I've known you over the years, I see it from a place of real, being real and being practical and honest. That is one thing that I really I go for. I like it when people are able to share from realistic and experience without mixing or mincing or watering it down, mixing it up and all that. Thank you so much for what you have shared this night. And there's so many questions that from me or Rosemary, they are building up from me. But we have something that we do. Please, for everyone with question, please kindly drop your questions. Mr. Francis is here to answer our questions. So for question number one, the place of making use of whatever it is you have. And one of the excuses that people always say is that give is that they don't have anything to offer. People are quick to look at cash, money as what they have to start anything. I thank God for the person, the ministry of Dr. Y.W.W.B Emmanuel, who the likes of me got to be trained under. Now, so my question now is that as there's something I've also seen that people have, and that is the fact that people always feel that they have lost time. They have lost time. I've had, a lot of people, some friends, even family say, I don't old now. What do I start? How do I start from? What do I do? How do I do? I have someone tell me, okay, I'm not, I can't do this because I can't, I'm too old to go back to do it. And even though I was angry, but I understand that I cannot force that person. The decision and the action and everything is left to that person. So where is the place of age? Where is the place and how important? Sir, real now, how important is age in choices, in making smart choices? How important? this age?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll start from the last question. So, and I'll link it to the age factor. Number one, the old founder of KFC. I'm sure the person is not as old as the founder of KFC, and yet the person started as possibly 69 about. Recently, in the branch of my church in Bagada, we do the School of Money by Dr. Lumide Emmanuel, and there was a particular Sunday while the review was going on. People like to talk about, people have been configured to respond to issues as though it is exam, and they go attend the class basically because they want to pass and they want to show that they know something, not taking of what they are going to do next. Not taking. I just rounded up a class yesterday, and I remember when I joined the class, the facilitator knows me very well, and he was like, these people that I'm seeing here, I know you don't, the people that really need this class are not there. But guess what? I was able to still take some informed decision based on that class. So it tells you something. My mom took a decision and reached out to me to thank me, that because that day I spoke while people were giving me. I said, look, the ones we learned last year, the old School of Money last year, how many decisions have you taken from those things? I said, look, time people begin to do instead of talking.
Yeah.
Instead of know that you know grammar, it's now time to begin to do. So if we all do percent of what we've learned, the results will be so huge. Also, you gave the illustration of someone who said, I'm too old to do this. The question is, what are you not too old to do? My mom took a decision to say, look, at 72, to say, I will start doing this. That after I made those comments and I said a couple of other things, she sent me a long message to thank me and said she will begin to do this, and that. And through, lo and behold, she started doing those things. I've seen things that she used to do charity before. She is now putting a fee to it. And amazingly, people are paying. People are patronizing at 72. So it's not too late. But however, if you say you don't have the requirements to do this, what is it that you have the requirements to do? We said it earlier on. Do analysis. What is it that I have strength for? What are the areas that I have in control of? And those are the ones. Then you now do further analysis to say, look, does it have value? Is it needed in the market? If it is not needed in the market, if it's not perceived that needed, the likes of Praise for Owe, for instance, the industry where he plays was not so popular before, but because he understands that he couldn't work in isolation, he started collaborating with people. Now that industry has now become something a lot of people have embraced. So while waiting for the gestation period, the ideal time, what level of collaboration can you do with what you have? It is not what you have, you don't have that hinders you. It is what you have and refuse to deploy that actually hinders you. So, and there's no time that is too late. So God didn't keep you alive just for existence. Yes, ma'am. I don't know if I
Yes. Well, for me, I was just nodding in agreement because it rings a bell for me, or rather, rings a bell, resonates with me. That is it. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Okay, sir. Before I read this question from this person, there's something that I found out that is a bit reality, that is a bit that actually jolted me to reality to some extent. And one of such is that my back home in Nigeria, there were some things that I did, and I did with ease and everything. But I now observe that it was in Nigeria that I actually grew and nurtured those habits. But I was able to do it and nurture it in Nigeria because I was intentional. Now, you made mention of something when they said, what is chasing you? So something was actually chasing me in Nigeria. I was afraid of poverty. I was afraid of being 40 and still living in a rented apartment. That was my mentality. You understand? So, but I came to a different environment. And because of the training that I've had back home, the first thing I said to myself is, how does the economy of Canada run? Yes, I understand that Canada's economy is a capitalist economy. So I now told myself, the first thing I need to do is to understand the economy of Canada. But now something is now, what I now realize is that there will be a situation where it's like starting afresh and starting afresh to grow yourself. And it can be a bit scary because one thing I observed is that people now start to compare and look back at where they are coming from to now compare, and that will hinder them. So my question now is this: what do one need to keep going and not look back? What do one need to keep going because they're like I said earlier before you came in, I said choices will have to continue to be refined and changed and refined as you go along your journey. So, but in that, to be able not to look back, what would one need to actually do? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. So for a fact, what you have to offer won't work in isolation of the environment or the society where you operate in.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have control of the society, but whatever you have. So is it a square peg in a round hole, or do you begin to now fabricate your own round holes too? So, but it is not in so as much as whatever you have, whatever you possess is not in isolation of what is the society. The society also has a way of adjusting to accommodate what you offer. So I've had a number of people who see some things that I'm doing in Nigeria, and they keep telling me, Francis, just come. You will try, you will do this, you will do that. Even clients will tell you, have you thought about rep? As a matter of recently, a client of ours just reached out to me to say, Francis, I have a land in the US, I can cede it to you, it's worth $170,000, and the person is still willing to do so much, what have you, because I'm not even in the society yet. I don't even know how but people who are there, there's barely any week or any month I don't hear those kind of conversation. However, I see myself, I see my organization profiling being a global brand, which means that there's no way we won't get to all of those places, but we have a strategy of entry. So one of the key things that you need to possess is the fact that you need to be resolute. Your willpower is your asset. So you need to be resolute. You need to look at all the possibilities. You need to look at all the options. Okay, what is the low-hanging fruit? Pending when the real things that are meant for would, find expression. Because one, I always tell people that, look, if a child is sick, you can provide support. You can say, sorry, what have you? If a child is dead, the best you can do of someone is dead, the best you can do is empathize. So support would not work at that point in time. So it means that you need to stay alive. You need to be in existence for that pursuit of yours to see the light of the day. So by extension, it means that whatever it is that you need to do, in the interim needs to be in the interim just to stay afloat, pending while you are cooking all that you are cooking. So after I attended the classes, I said I rounded up yesterday. I came up with a strategy plan. I wrote a few things. Okay, this. I wrote a set of questions I was going to ask. The ones I was going to give instructions to tell somebody, oh, yeah, you do this, you do that. Actions, I laid everything, what have you. So which step forward and all of this. So you need to look at what it is that you really want to do. And anyone on the call what is it? Are you really convinced? Because one, people buy into you first before they buy into whatever it is that you have to offer. So if you are not convinced enough about whatever it is that you want to do, then nobody will believe in it. So if you are always in, out periodically, it's nobody will be. So like I mentioned to someone, courage is not the absence of fear. It is going ahead in spite of the fear. So, but not foolishly, it is to do the analysis. Recently, I also spoke with our own board chairman from the founder of Nairametrics, and I was having a conversation with him, and I said, so sorry, because they have got some figures, this project you are doing, somebody can give you 10 billion. I said, look, what is it that these people really look out for? One of the things he said is you. He said, why is it that a lot of startups fail, and yet people still keep giving them money? He said, because one, that person really believes. And one of our board members too, who works with Aramco, came to the country and was sharing a story of someone, of two partners who are meant to be owners of a particular business. However, they were both working elsewhere, not giving commitments. None of the either of them. So, and the people who wanted to give them funds said, okay, what do you do currently? Said, I work in social place. This you too, you work, and they didn't bother to give. If one of them had said, look, whatever I make, we will use it to keep body and soul together, while you go all out for this business, we will stay afloat, and they will have possibly gotten funding. So you need to devise a strategy after knowing fully well that, look, you are really convinced. Is there a market for it? Is there a need for it? Okay, ticked. What do I need? What are the low-hanging fruits? Pick those ones, but don't get distracted by the low-hanging fruits.
Thank you, sir. Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I said earlier, that there are some topics that we see to be discussed, and we become too familiar. We say, oh, I know this, but really, nothing gets discussed same thing every time. No, there's something that is there always for someone to catch. Okay. Someone as Henry says, what is the ratio of investment of return that one should consider before investment?
So an ideal investor, the primary and first objective is never to lose their capital. It is not safety first. So in doing business, the first time I explored business was 21 years ago. Fortunately enough, I was pretty young. I had 3 partners, 1 active partner, 2 dormant partners who dropped cash for us and who were doing very well in the career space. And but one of the key things that killed that business was the fact that there was no cash flow to keep. So the business had all the potential, but by the time people were coming to make inquiry about the business was already dead. So there was enough money spent on assets, the look and feel. As a matter of we packaged ourselves out of the market. We look too good at people that our price can be competitive. So I know it's an investment point of view that the person is talking about, but the first objective for any ideal investor or a business person is, how do I not lose my capital? Before you're not talking about margin. If you are the one to create that value, both the profits for who is investing with you, and because I don't know the angle the person is asking the question from, but if someone is giving you money to do business and the person is expecting returns, that means you need to make profit for the person and also make profit for it. So find ways to underpromise, and more importantly, one of the things that we have to do differently as a company, based on experiences I've had over the years, is to do more of equity involved, so that we win together and we are all committed to the brand together, and so that the nature and the space where I work, or the nature of our own business, is more of long term than short term. But the moment we are in it together, it gives us even more returns than it will have been fixed kind of returns on investment. So it's I can't say this is number one. Economists will tell you check the inflation rates in the country, check the all of this data and all of those things. They all matter at the end of it all. But the number one is don't lose your capital.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I have about 3 questions. Then we'll call it a day. I know we actually spent so much time. No, but now, for this initiative, it's about the wholeness of the woman, and because we have found out that the woman has been, you know, for a long time, we've said, oh, the woman has been oppressed, the woman is being oppressed, the woman is being oppressed. But over time, I also observed that in as much as the woman is being oppressed, the woman also kind of decided to oppress herself, and with collaboration of women like her, to oppress herself and limit herself and restrict herself to what she's capable of. So this question is how, you know, a lot of people, we're talking about, you know, making smart choices with what you have. So how can a woman, I just want to say a woman now because you are a man, and how can a woman who woke up and realized in the course of a relationship like marriage that she has something, probably somebody who is listening to this this discussion today, that's, oh, I have something, but my marriage, by virtue of marriage, well, somehow I'm being limited or restricted, because it's not all men that have the knowledge that the likes of you have, and, you know, allowing your wife to swear and all that. So, but how can she what can she do to be able to, you know,
I
use
get you,
that?
man. I get you, man.
Thank you, sir.
So one thing is we all must realize that we are salespeople.
Mm.
We are all salespeople. The pastor sells to us, our teachers sell to the children, the proprietor sells to the parents, the children are selling an idea to us, you are selling to your husband sold to you before you became the wife.
Mm.
The thing is, that thing you are passionate about, there's a way you will go about it that you will be selling to people unconsciously. There's a way someone will see something about you and say, oh, you're different, or you are thinking differently, or you are this and that. Not by saying, if I told you I want to do this. No, it's about subtle, in a subtle way. You're already driving the message home. You're saying the drive. You're saying you wake up at a particular time. You're studying. You are taking notes. You've documented things. What have you? It will be someone who doesn't see, who will feel threatened, or it will be more of even a demon, because there's really nobody who doesn't need help. So, and I'll give, and recently, I'm bringing my family issue to the public space, but it's fine. And I told, over 8 years ago, I remember mentioning to my wife, you have these giftings, you have this one, do this. And I was even reported, and the person told me, I don't want to mention the person's name too, because someone you know, is he your son? She said she doesn't want to. I say, okay. So I dropped it. A few years ago, you know, she wrote a book when she was resigning from her initial place of work, and, you know, she saw some aspect of me and just said, this guy, you just pick one call, and the next thing, millions have entered your hand. She wanted to resign. She resigned. Probably, I said, look, do this. This is the way you should do this. Some of those things, we need to do them now, because one, but the way I've been selling to her is not to say, I want to do this, I want to do this, by the steps I take. And she's like, wow, there's something I can listen to this guy. Or outsiders are benefiting from this guy than even me. And all of a sudden, at some point, I set up, one of our podcast studios that I own, and I also set up, had a coach, start recording. They abandoned the thing again. And I was like, I won't even talk, what have you. But the day I was talking, as a matter of fact, I thought she had slept off until the following day. she was thanking me to say blah 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 blah. That is me selling. The same way it is as I sold us leaving a branch of the headquarters of our church to Ikeja Church, from Ikeja Church to I sold it to her to the point that when she said this our Bagada branch, it seems it's a business school. This is before you know, he said, let us go and approach our resident pastor in the Ikeja Church to say we are moving. So we have to find subtle way to sell to our partners. Show them the possibilities. Show them people don't buy features, they buy the possibilities. So it is not feature, the value that thing has to. So just pitch that, look, just imagine me being able to contribute this more to the upkeep because of this dream. What I mean, the person will be your first investor. So we sell and you show them the role that they have to play, their relevance, while, within, and after, and they will buy into it.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm just smiling here because I'm like, oh, okay, that means I'm not praising myself. Smile. I say that means I've been on track. I remember when I just finished school, and then my husband, he's here. My husband will say I'm a room to let. You know, I'm room to let, and over the years, he will say something. Said the consistency, the passion, and the drive has not faded, or has not reduced. And I found out that the challenges that most women have, or most people have, is that they did not come to understand themselves and what they can permit or accept, even in the course of marriage. In the initiative, we say to women, even with the most difficult and impossible spouse, you can thrive. You will thrive. Not even that you can, you will thrive, because all you need is what, like you said, to have your way of marketing your this. I remember how I would I want to do something, and instead of me to do that thing, I would push it to my husband. I would say, I want to do this thing, even as much as buying things for my kids. I say, I want to buy shoe for so person, or I want to buy shoe for these children. You are very good with, you know how to know quality shoe. Please, this is the money I have. And then my husband was seeing it as I'm the ones helping my wife spend his money, but me, I was using my marketing and negotiating, because I know where I'm going to and how to. I want to really say a big thank you, sir, to you. Tell you, I have so many questions to ask. I want to really say a big thank you to you for coming to honor us. We do not take it for granted. And sir, please, I know that your door is open. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for teaching us. And the perspective from which you taught this night is different from what I'm very certain that everyone knows that it's different from what they have known before. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone. Like you said, today, tomorrow, 15th of June, will make it a year that we started this discussion platform. And like I said during the week, it took me 7 months. 7 months. I remember when this initiative was given birth to, and I had it loud and clear. I did not ask you to go and start a preaching platform. I asked you to, because I was praying about some challenges that I was having in my life, individual life, and also in marriage. And the answer that came for me was not what I thought would come. And I'd not tell you to go and start a preaching platform. No, you are a Christian, you will pray and do this, but women need to understand where they are also failing and where their strength is. So that brought about the burdens and the blessing. When I said, this thing is too long, it's too this. But 1 year going, I will confess that even me, as a person who is the founder of the initiative, is not the same person that started this discussion platform a year ago. And for every speaker who has honored us on this platform, one of the fears I had then was, where will I get the money to invite speakers. And God said, leave it. I have made provision. And powerful speakers, loaded speakers. One of the things I always tell people, because most of the speakers happen to be, Christians, born again. I'll say, please, you are not coming to preach. I know you know me as a Christian. You are not coming to preach. Please don't come and be quoting Bible. But does that mean that we are not preaching? No. No. That doesn't mean that we are not distributing Bible. I just said that don't come to this platform and be, using listen to, distract. That is not the mission. The mission is what? Healing through, teaching. I want to say to you once more, sir. God bless you. Please
Amen.
keep your door open. Keep your door open. We are coming back, and we're not just coming back, and we are coming back, much more, better. Thank you so much. I do not take this for granted. I do not take it sincerely, and I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. And Madam is here. Thank you, ma, for this opportunity.
No, I'm
Thank you
actually
for.
on our phone. That was the only way I could gain access, So
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
couldn't gain access to my own device, so it's our phone.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, ma. God bless you. I really appreciate that. And on the initiative, we say it is about the wholeness of the woman. We have already gotten to the mid-year of 2025. How you go forward is what now you have learned that, see, you don't need to necessarily have everything. So the mindset of what you have at hand now or whatever it is different. Take what we have learned this night and please go back. We have been taught that it is not the number of seminars and this that you attend, but what you do with what you have learned. Please, age is not a number. Sorry, age is not a hindrance, rather. Age is not a hindrance. Sit down and maximize. And next week, Saturday, we'll be here with another wonderful, program. And coincidentally, unfortunately, I'll be the one taking that. So that is what you do, delayed gratification because of the future. And until we come your way next week, Saturday, my name is Rosemary Henrieze, representing and coordinating the affairs of the Young Women and Wives with Blessing and Burdens and Blessing Initiative. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.